Hey guys, today we're going to be running through some test hands of the Summon Skull custom archetype. Here we go. So opening up with Skull and Crossbones, Crusher the Skull Warrior, Bone Chest, Tour Guide, and Ash Blossom. So let's start off with Bone Chest. Not Bone Chest. Tour Guide. Use Tour Guide's effect to special summon a level 3 Fiend monster from our deck. In this case, we'll go grab Archfiend Eris. Now we'll play Bone Chest. And Bone Chest allows us to add one card that mentions Summon Skull from our deck to our hand. So let's grab Skull Summon. And if we do that, we can change the name and level of one monster on the field to Summon Skull level 6. So we'll turn Tour Guide to Summon Skull level 6. And now we can activate Skull Summon, where we can send one Archfiend monster we control to the grave. In this case, we'll send Archfiend Eris. Special Summon Skull from our deck, and send an Archfiend monster from our deck to the grave. And since Archfiend Eris was sent from the field to the grave, we can activate her effect, where we can add an Archfiend card from our deck to our hand. Let's grab Skull Reborn. Now we'll activate Glow Up Skull's ability, where we can mill the top card of our deck, and if it is an Archfiend card, then we can special summon it to the field. Yes, it is. So now we have our level 1 tuner, and remember Tour Guide is being treated as a level 6 Summon Skull, so we can use them to synchro summon into Unleashed Summon Skull. Now Unleashed Summon Skull has a great effect. It is a quick effect where during either player's main phase, you can send one spell that mentions Summon Skull from your deck to the graveyard and meet its activation requirements, then resolve this card's effect as the effect of that spell. So if we wanted to use this right now, we could. We could do a couple of things. We could either use Bone Chest to get another search, but remember we have to meet the activation requirements, and we've already activated one Bone Chest this turn, so we can't use that. So the likely thing that we would do is grab extra Skull, send it to the grave, and then tribute our Summon Skull that's on the field and turn it into Archfiend's Call. Now Archfiend's Call is treated as a Summon Skull on the field, and it prevents our opponent from targeting any of our Summon Skulls with card effects. So basically both our monsters cannot be targeted by our opponent's card effects. We'll set that Skull and Crossbones. Skull and Crossbones is a counter trap that negates the summon of any monster that is not specifically Summon Skull, as well as any effect that would summon a monster that is not specifically Summon Skull. So we've got a Summon Negate, we've got Ash Blossom, and we've got Unleashed Summon Skull for some added disruption, because on our opponent's turn, some of the more common targets that you'd want to use for his effect is Maku the Skull Miss to negate the effects of all other monsters on the field. All other monsters, no matter where they are, until the end of the turn. And Lightning Strike, which allows you to destroy all cards on the field not named Summon Skull. So pretty solid opening. Let's see what we get with our second test hand. Glow Up Skull, Skull Crush, Allure of Darkness, Summon Skull, and Bone Chest. Let's open up with Allure of Darkness. We'll banish the Summon Skull. Normal summon the Glow Up Skull and activate Bone Chest. Search out Skull Summon. And now Bone Chest treats Glow Up Skull as a level 6 Summon Skull, so if we wanted to, we could activate Lightning Strike to rid the rest of the field. We could activate Skull Crush if we needed to get rid of an opponent's threat. We could activate Extra Skull to turn Glow Up Skull into one of our Archfiend's Ascent, Call, or Manifestation. You could also get Black Skull Dragon if you so choose. But what we'll likely do, especially if we're opening up on our first turn, is activate that Skull Summon to send this to the grave. Special Summon Skull from our deck, and with the last effect of Skull Summon, send Archfiend Eris to the graveyard from our deck. And since it is sent to the grave by a card effect, we can add an Archfiend card from our deck to our hand. Let's go ahead and add Skull and Crossbones. So now Glow Up Skull is in our graveyard. We can activate its effect to mill the top card of our deck. This is an Archfiend card, so we can special summon it. And here we go again into our boss monster, Unleashed Summon Skull. Now we can use his effect to send Skull Reborn to the graveyard, special summon the Summon Skull that is in our grave, and then use this extra skull that we have in hand to turn that into Archfiend's Call. So again, we're ending up with a similar board where our opponent cannot target either of our monsters. We have a Summon Negate ready to go. And we also have, instead of that Ash Blossom, we have a Skull Crush, where you could tribute the Archfiend's Call to activate its effect. And we also have Unleash Summon Skull to either send Makyu to negate all monster effects for the rest of the turn, Lightning Strike to blow up the field. You could also send Skull Reborn to bring out that Summon Skull and use it for your Skull Crush. So there you have the Summon Skull archetype. As you can see, this deck is capable of putting out a lot of big bodies. We actually have 8,000 square right on the board right now. And the deck is also very capable of disrupting the opponent through its counter trap, as well as the effect of Unleash Summon Skull, being able to use a variety of effects of those spells on your opponent's turn. But we'd love to hear your feedback in the comments, and also you can check out the full showcase, all the custom cards that we've designed for the Summon Skull archetype, with that card in the corner, as well as the link in the description. And be sure to like and subscribe as we get into our first Kaiba monster coming up tomorrow.